Before the 1970s, seeing a live rock band in Australia meant standing in a drafty town hall or an unlicensed church dance. The scene was quiet, heavily restricted, and strictly amateur. In the early 70s, state governments dismantled antiquated liquor laws, ending early closures, lowering the drinking age, and allowing women in bars. This caused an exponential spike in alcohol sales. Publicans used free live music to pack expanded venues, moving alcohol by the jug. Quiet suburban drinking holes like the Scarborough Hotel expanded almost overnight into highly lucrative live entertainment engines. These massive footprints required a new breed of band to keep the engine running. These new rooms were hostile environments for a performer. Built to hold thousands of intoxicated patrons, they were entirely devoid of acoustics. A band stepping onto these huge stages faced a wall of noise, heat, and highly volatile crowds. In that kind of space, musical subtlety disappeared. To survive, the sound had to be direct and confrontational. This physical environment forged the classic Oz rock sonic footprint, a relentless backbeat and dense, driving rhythm guitars that could cut straight through the chaos. Singers had to develop feral, throat-shredding vocal techniques just to be heard over the shouting of 1,000 patrons. Performers like Jimmy Barnes built entire careers on the ability to physically overpower a massive room. This heavy, aggressive sound was a response to environmental pressure. In the beer barn, a band either physically dominated the room or they were driven off the stage. This dynamic was especially intense in Western Australia. Perth's extreme geographic isolation meant it lacked the massive network of small, intimate inner-city music clubs found in Sydney or Melbourne. The massive suburban megapub was the sole proving ground available. There was nowhere to hide behind studio tricks or clever marketing. You either delivered an airtight, relentless, high-energy live show to a packed room, or you simply didn't work. By the late 70s, a band called Loaded Dice emerged as the apex predators of this circuit. They practically lived on the road, grinding out grueling schedules of 5 to 6 nights a week, often playing multiple sets a night at sprawling suburban battlegrounds like the Herdsman Hotel. They operated a tight, flawless rock machine, armed with massive Marshall amps, heavy, driving bass lines, and expertly delivered rock covers. Their high-octane guitar rock was a direct adaptation to the loud, working-class energy of the Western Australian beer barn. By the mid-1980s, audience tastes began to shift. The denim and boots of the 70s were gradually replaced by the highly styled, MTV-driven era of big hair, sharp fashion, and synth-pop. Polished, melodic new wave pop seems like an unlikely fit for a sweaty, aggressive WA beer barn. A Perth band named V-Capri adapted by masking the required heavy pub rock energy behind radio-friendly hooks, synthesizers, and sharp visual styling. It worked. They dominated the local massive hotel rooms, signed a national record deal, and landed their pop hits on major television shows like Neighbours. V-Capri demonstrated that in the Perth megapub, live execution and raw energy mattered more than the specific genre. As the decade closed, 3 distinct external forces rapidly contracted the live pub circuit. The widespread, sudden introduction of random breath testing curbed heavy drinking at suburban venues that required patrons to drive, while 18-year-olds began abandoning live bands for DJs and early rave culture. Then came the final blow. Publicans quickly realized that rows of electronic poker machines yielded huge profit margins with zero overhead, eliminating the need to pay, feed, and house a touring rock band. Cold economic and legislative math dismantled the classic era of the multi-tiered, sweat-soaked live touring circuit. Today, those sprawling suburban beer barns are largely quieted down, repurposed into family bistros, or filled with the static hum of slot machines. But the environment they once provided was an uncompromising school for musicians. It punished pretension and demanded absolute live perfection from anyone who stepped onto the stage. Whether a band was playing raw guitar blues or polished synth-pop, the unique, relentless physics of the Australian beer barn forged a performance-first work ethic that remains globally recognized today.